Good evening. It is 6:30 p.m. and I would like to call to order the October 19th, 2022 regular board meeting of the Niles, Maine District Library Board to order. Margaret, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Derblick.
Here.
Trustee Schoenfeld.
Here.
Trustee Makula.
Here.
Trustee Rosansky. Here. Trustee Olson.
Here.
Trustee Keene.
Here. Thank you, Margaret. Item 3 on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Could we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. At this time, I will reiterate the rules for our board meetings. As board president and presiding officer, it is my responsibility to preserve and maintain decorum at all times during official meetings of the library board. As such, this board will not tolerate outbursts and interruptions during our meetings. I am asking that each member of the public respect that and to conduct yourself accordingly. If, on the other hand, you do interfere with the orderly conduct of the meeting or you persist in disorderly, disruptive conduct, I will have you removed from the meeting. Any conduct which interrupts the consideration of library district business is considered disruptive, including but not limited to shouting out, clapping, snapping, hissing, etc. during the meeting. Public participation and comment will be permitted during the public comment portion of the agenda consistent with the library rules. Remarks shall be made from the speaker's podium only. Abusive and profane comments will not be permitted and will promptly be ruled out of order. If you persist, you will no longer be allowed to speak. The board vests in me as the board president the authority to terminate the remarks of speakers who fail to adhere to the rules. Individuals addressing the board must at all times adhere to the library policies and other rules as may be necessary for the efficient and orderly conduct of the meeting. All public comments shall be addressed to the board as a whole, and no comments shall be addressed to individual members of the board, library staff, or other members of the public body. Thank you. Item 4 on the agenda is public comment. Cindy, would you please call the first person for public comment?
Elliot Osherman.
Good evening, Board. I've got a lot to say, so I'm going to go very quickly. Good evening, Board. This is Elliot Osherman of the Committee Against Retention of the Three Snoozes. That means the three trustees to my right. As usual, I have given a copy of these comments to your Executive Director ahead of the meeting so she can distribute to them individually, as I do expect you to follow along. And as usual, I am addressing my comments to the 6 board members. This is not the entirety of the board, as you do not have the 7th trustee. And as usual, I repeat my 9 declarative sentences of, I will neither be silenced nor interrupted, nor will we, nor will the community. I will remember this, as will we, as will the community. And I will vote on April 4th, 2023, against the retention of the 3 snoozes, as will we, as will the community. About 10 days ago, there was a letter to the editor of the Journal regarding the upcoming election. I would strongly urge all eligible members of the public to cast their vote. This is a privilege and responsibility of the voting public. While there are no board members running on this ballot on November 8th, there was an interesting comment in that letter. I won't identify the author lest I be accused of addressing him. It said under the title, "We need a change of leadership. All voters in this upcoming election have to ask themselves for each candidate they are voting for a second time or is on the ballot a second time. Did this candidate make things better or worse during their time in office?" Unquote. By the way, judicial retention is also on this ballot. I have to agree with that statement. When it comes to voting on April 4th, 2023, remember his words. Additionally, I have to charge your presiding officer with several violations of Robert's Rules of Order and the Library Board's bylaws. See the attached for your sex. For description of the bylaws describing procedures of Robert's Rules to be followed unless the board waives them. As far as I know, the board has never exercised the right to waive Robert's Rules of Order as deemed necessary and desirable. As I see it, your presiding officer has at least one of 3 possible problems. She cannot hear, she will not listen, or she will not believe what other people tell her, whether it's other board members, the public, her staff, professionals such as accountants, or government officials such as elected officials or the Attorney General. As I explained in my public comments of the June meeting, 2 motions or calls are being ignored, as are contents of meeting minutes, as are ignoring of items for new business, and presentation of items to be placed onto the next agenda. Let's reiterate. 1, a call for the orders of the day means something is done out of order. Call for the order of the day requires an interruption, so the meeting can be brought back on track. Calls for the order of the day requires an acknowledgement by the presiding officer and a statement as to what, if anything, will be done to correct the problem. Call for the order of the day should be noted in the minutes as to who requested it, what time it was requested, and what the presiding officer did, if anything, to effect the change. All of this was given to her with copies to the board members with my public comments in June. Number 2, point of order motions are being ignored. Point of order means something has been misstated or is improperly done, as was ignored 20 minutes ago by Becky's comment. As with calls for the order of the day, this requires an interruption, so this item can be corrected or a misstatement withdrawn. This also requires an acknowledgement by the presiding officer, so the problem can be fixed. Point of order should be noted in the minutes as to who requested it, what time it was requested, and how the presiding officer dealt with it. 3, minutes are to indicate what was done and by whom and how, not to put large statements or reports verbatim into the minutes. When minutes are subjected to the approval process, large statements or reports verbatim should be deleted. 4, ignoring making the request to see if there's any new business to be brought up for consideration is a violation of Robert's Rules of Order. Also ignores the bylaws for suggested agenda. It is not to be disguised as other. It is not to be skipped for lack of time. It is appropriate if the business to be dealt with is relevant to the library board, and its functioning. The Open Meetings Act specifically says new business cannot be ignored. However, it does seem to indicate that motions for actions need to be on the printed agenda as posted 48 hours before the meeting, so the public is or would be aware of that vote. But under Robert's rules, you can make a motion, have it seconded, then table it till the next scheduled meeting, so it would automatically be included in the next meeting's advance printed agenda. Several trustees have in the past requested that temporary hiring freeze be put on the agenda, starting with December's request. Now it's halfway through October. The bylaws of the board indicate the executive director will draw up the agenda and submit to board president for approval. Perhaps it's time for the 3 members who keep asking for it to be on the agenda to ask the executive director to put it on the agenda under new business. And if the presiding officer rejects that action, perhaps they can introduce it when there is a call for new business. Just a thought. 6, the bylaws under membership indicate the board consists of 7 trustees. Quote, vacancies are filled by appointment of the remaining trustees pursuant to the applicable provisions of the Public Library District Act. Unquote. The Attorney General advised the board in December the vacancy was to be filled forthwith. Tap dancing by the snoozes from December on prevented the installation of the 7th member. The legislature had to intervene. More tap dancing by your presiding officer and treasurer to avoid the...
Thank you.
Yeah, one more thing. We still want to, Mayor.
Melissa Saget.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Melissa Saget, and I'm a 5th grade teacher at Washington School in East Main School, District 63. I'm here tonight to share how Niles Main District Librarian Kate Levinson and I work together to support literacy in my classroom. When a non-English speaking student recently enrolled, I found it very difficult to find books in her language to suit both the needs of my 5th grade curriculum and the specific academic needs of my new student. When I communicated these needs to Kate, she immediately got to work curating a list of high interest grade level chapter books in this student's language. Because of Kate's library expertise, my student is now able to better participate through Google Translate, of course, in class conversations about things such as character change and using text evidence to support her thinking. I greatly appreciate the relationship my school has with both the Niles Main District Library and with librarian Kate Levinson. I hope we can continue this partnership as together we're making an impact in students' lives. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dana N.
Hi, I'm Dana N. from Emerson Middle School. Hello, Niles trustees. Your ignorance has driven away many good librarians away. We just lost Miss Donna. Her reasons for leaving may be private, but you know that how little you pay them is almost like greedy managers in the Gilded Age. In general, librarians' pay starts from $15 to $20 an hour. Let's compare it. Their yearly salary is $43,000 to $52,000 yearly. Let's compare it to a McDonald's manager, which makes almost $70,000 yearly. Let's compare the two. A librarian who needs to attend college for a master's degree to work, but a McDonald's manager that doesn't really need a degree. $43,000 to $52,000 to $70,000 is a big difference, considering that librarians help the community. It is ridiculous how you underpay the librarians, not to mention how you treat librarians and talk amongst yourselves. You talk about employees as if they were porcelain dolls. The board consistently talks over each other. My friends don't even talk over each other. And we're like 13 to 14, and you guys are 60 years old or older. Now that doesn't make sense. Also, where's your gavel, President?
Irina Valea.
Well, I've been living in Niles since I came from Europe. I absolutely love this library. I've been helped many, many times, especially when I need some professional books. To my big surprise, when I did my research, librarians actually offer me to buy it so I can use it and other people in the library can use it too. So I'm very grateful. I love this place. My son spent a lot of time in study upstairs when he was in college. He absolutely loved it too. So thank you for everything. I keep coming here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Roberto Botello.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. I come to share with you my experience as a 20-year resident of Niles, similar to what you heard before, in that I want to make sure that the services that I have been having the privilege of experiencing over the past 20 years to continue beyond, mainly because I know that there are families here in Niles that are going to raise families, and having a service such as this wonderful library reduced to the minimal provided is going to have a negative impact on our community. I often hear of families saying that they have to go to neighboring communities to get services, and it hurts me because I realize that some of the decisions that are being made here are having a negative impact on our community. So I will support efforts in the community to maintain the services as they once were, going back to 10, 15 years ago. And I would encourage everyone in the community that supports the library to advocate for services, and eventually things could get back to what they once were. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Jeanette Lee.
Good evening, my name is Jeanette Lee. My pronouns are she and her. I'm here tonight to talk about the concept of integrity. The Oxford English Dictionary defines integrity as the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. I see an egregious and very disappointing lack of integrity coming from 3 of the trustees of this library. These trustees like to tell us that we have not cut any programming whatsoever. When these 3 trustees say this, they are either being ignorant of the facts or are being willfully dishonest. Where do they think programming comes from? I'll tell them, it's the staff. It takes staff time, energy, and expertise to design, prepare, and run every program. whether it's Storytime in Kids Space, a Paint-Along in Teen Underground, or a Makerspace program for adults. When you cut staff, when you refuse to rehire for positions that are open, then new programming is not able to be implemented. When you say you haven't cut any programming, you are twisting the facts. While you might not have specifically said we are cutting XYZ program, you have made it impossible for the remaining staff to dedicate the time to creating new programs. So either you haven't taken the time to understand the reality of the situation, or you are willfully lying to the public when you say this. If you can't understand the reality of the situation at the library that you should be advocating for, then you're not doing your job as a trustee and you should step down to make room for someone who intends to advocate for the library. If you are willingly lying to the public, then shame on you and your lack of integrity. We deserve better. The reality of the situation is that programming is down. I took a look at the events page on the library's website. I compared the programs from September and October of 2021 to September and October of 2022. This year, there are 32 fewer programs than there were the same time last year. Why? Because there is a distinct lack of staff to plan, prepare, and run new programs. The staff are doing the best that they can, but they obviously cannot provide the same type of experience with a reduction of 30% of the staff that has occurred because of your disastrous and cruel hiring freeze. Recently, there was a discussion about the decrease in programming at the library on the Everything Niles Facebook group, and one person commented that they don't bring their family to this library anymore because of the lack of programming, even though they used to come multiple times a week. Being a trustee for the library means you're supposed to be advocating for the library, getting people to use the library more, not less. You are driving patrons away from the very library they pay for with their tax dollars. You are lying to the public when you say that you need to cut staff, materials, and programming because there's a decrease of the patronage at the library. The fact is, you are the ones driving the patrons away. If you were acting with integrity and doing your job as trustees, you would be working towards increasing patronage of the library, but you are doing the exact opposite. The staff at this library deserve a board that advocates for them. The patrons of the library deserve a board that advocates for the staff and for the library. We all deserve a board that acts with integrity, not a board made up of 3 members who continuously twist the truth, disregard the public's comments, and refuse to do the job they were sworn in to do.
Thank you.
Renee Sutherland.
Hello, my name is Renee Sutherland, and my pronouns are she, her. I'm an organizer of the Niles Coalition. Our Save Niles Library campaign is made up of concerned community members and patrons to resist this right-wing neoliberal attack by trustees Derblick, Schoenfeld, and McCullough. We are united in our mission and bring to these 3 anti-library trustees the following collective demands. Fulfill your duties and appoint Umair Kadir to the vacant board seat. End the unjustifiable hiring freeze that is choking the life out of the library. Expedite a contract with the Niles Main District Libraries Union. Resign your positions immediately so we can replace you with library advocates that the trustee position requires. We appreciate the hard work and dedication of these staff and the 3 pro-library trustees. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's everyone who signed up to speak.
All right, thank you, Cindy. Okay, the next item on the agenda is approval of minutes. With respect to the trustees, I would like to read the rules that govern the proceedings of the board. As you know, the rules of parliamentary
Point of order.
comprised in Robert's Rules of Order govern the proceedings of the board. There are certain rules contained within Robert's Rules with respect to decorum. By reminding you of the rules, I hope it will lead to a more civil and productive debate, which is one of the most important concepts underlying parliamentary procedure. Robert's Rules of Order Number 7 debate states speakers must address their remarks to the presiding officer, be courteous in their language and deportment, and avoid all personalities, never alluding to the officers or other members by name where possible to avoid it, nor to the motives of the members. Additionally, Robert's Rules of Order Number 43, Decorum in Debate, states in debate a member must confine himself to the question before the assembly and avoid personalities. All the trustees should refrain from disturbing the assembly, and you should encourage others to do likewise. Consistent with Robert's Rules, I am asking each of the trustees to refrain from speaking until recognized, confine remarks to the merits of the pending question, refrain from attacking a member's motives, the measure, not the member, is the subject of debate, address remarks through the chair. The application of Robert's Rules is the best method to enable the Board of Trustees, with due regard for every member's opinion, to arrive at the general will on the maximum number of questions of varying complexity and a minimum amount of time, and under all kinds of internal climate, ranging from total harmony to hardened or impassioned division of opinion. Thank you for your cooperation. Item 5 on the agenda is approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the April 20, 2022 regular board meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. We now can have discussion. Trustee McCula, any comments?
I have no objections. This is like the third time around, at least for this thing.
Thank you. Trustee Schoenfeld.
No comment.
Trustee Rosansky.
Yes, I have comments. I would like to refer everybody to page 4. I would like to have the minutes read, President's report, President Derblick read her report.
Thank you. Trustee Olson.
I'd like to know why this is presented again without any changes. I thought if we say no, we've explained why we have said no, and I thought that there should be changes before it's presented to us again, because what's the point of giving us the same minutes as before?
There was no direction from the board on what to change. There was no
Okay.
agreement on
Okay,
what to
can I
change.
have a second on what I just made, my point that I would like changed?
Can you repeat it?
I would like, on page 4, I would like the minutes to read, President's report. President Derblick read her report.
So the challenge is that by the trustee manual, it says that if someone makes an objection to the minutes, I go back and check the minutes. If it's there, it goes in.
That's already on
This statement is there. It goes-
That's already on there. It doesn't have to go, my saying is, we do not have to go into the comments that are given. If somebody wants to hear the report, they can look at the video.
Yes, I know that's how you feel about it, but that is not a criteria to change the minutes
Fine.
by the manual.
Fine,
So
Fine.
unless everyone agrees on the change,
fine.
you're making it
Okay,
and someone's seconding
I-
it doesn't do it.
I actually also was thinking of the same thing. I thought about a couple of things. Everybody else's report, you give kind of a summary usually, just 1 or 2 sentences, maybe 3 sentences, and I think that would be appropriate. Just a summary of what she said and move on. I have written something as well. I don't know if you want to hear it, because what's the point unless somebody's going to do anything or say anything?
So I did ask the attorney about this, and the answer I got was that if someone feels strongly enough that something should be in the record, it should go in. So I guess that applies to everyone.
That's what he said.
If you feel strongly that what you have to say belongs in the record, then it should go in there.
Fine.
If I feel strongly that it should not be in there, it should not go in there?
I don't know if you feeling strongly that it shouldn't go in there overrides the person who feels strongly it should go in.
Okay, so we're at a standstill.
So
We're at a standstill.
Where it
These are the
stands.
minutes from April. We are at a standstill.
And as far as I'm concerned, it is what it is.
One person's opinion isn't more important than another person's, so.
Especially if it's the executive officer.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Olson. Trustee Keene?
I'm tired of arguing about this every month. I have nothing more to say that I
Thank
haven't
you.
already said.
Margaret,
welcome.
please call the roll.
Trustee Derblick?
Yes.
Trustee Schoenfeld?
Yes.
Trustee Makula?
Yes.
Trustee Rosansky?
No.
Trustee Olson?
No.
Trustee Keene?
No.
3-3 fails.
And
Do I have a motion?
So for next time,
It's gonna
are
be
we
the
going
same.
to
It's
get
gonna
the
be the
same
same.
paper back? And
Yes.
expect us to
Don't
change our mind?
bother wasting the paper anymore.
you know,
The vote's going to be no.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
I don't understand where we're accomplishing
It
anything.
has to be voted to be approved in order to.
I would
send
like
it
the
in.
president, please, to take a stand. I mean, does she want things to move on? Does she want a reputation, and believe me, you do have a reputation, of not cooperating or even bending on something as simple as this, when it's pretty obvious that everybody else gets a summary of what they say, but you need everything perfect the way you said it. It's really just.
Trustee Olson, to your comment,
What is it?
the
Now
statement
what?
that I made, are you not finished? Please continue.
That's all I have to say.
Okay, I'd
and
like
I'm
to
not
respond.
Okay, go on. The answer is no, I don't pass or whatever.
If the record is on the
Excuse me,
video-
Trustee Makula. Trustee Olson, the question of the minutes is that I made a statement, which I carefully selected what needed to be said, and it is now in the minutes. This has been a practice in the past with other presidents, but because of the animosity on this board, we can't seem
Because of the
to get-
animosity of
Excuse-
you with your statements. That's why we don't want it, because we would like
Trustee
positive
Rosansky,
stuff,
you're out of
not
order.
negative. Oh,
Trustee
well,
Rosansky,
you
you're
always
out of
call me
order.
out of order anyway, so what?
And again, Trustee Olson, to that point, the statement was made, according to the attorney, any statements that you make can be included, but you can't, just because of your opinion, decide to remove something. So that's the standstill that we are at, but this is the procedure we followed so many times in the past.
No, I disagree.
But if you check the board, if you check the board
No,
videos in the past, you'll see
I don't remember
it.
hearing everybody's verbatim statements. I don't
Please check
remember.
previous videos.
In 2021, before the budget meetings, I submitted a statement to be read during the meeting, and it didn't even get read during the meeting, much less entered into the record. So I think you're
Trustee
lying.
Trustee Keene, do you recall why that happened?
I sure do.
And what was the reason you were told?
The reason that you said was because it was, what was it?
No, I'm asking you to recall why
I'm
why that
asking you.
lengthy letter was not allowed to be read
Because you said
during
it
the
wasn't
budget.
appropriate.
Yes, that's exactly true.
So that's not accurate, though. I
And
have
in
it
your
right here. I could
absence-
read it right now, and then we could have it on the record. How about that?
Okay, Trustee Keene,
I could read it
you're
right
out
now
of
for you.
order.
This is
You're out of
Rosansky.
order.
You're out of order.
You know what? I constantly need to
ridiculous.
remind you that you are disrupting the board meetings. Please refrain yourself.
I can make a point as well as anyone else. It's my
Number
right
5C
to
on
make
the
a-
agenda
make a
is
point
approve the
when I have
minutes
one.
of September
we're voting on
21,
the
All right, we're
2022 board meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you.
You already had the motion, didn't you, for that?
We have a motion and a second. We now can have discussion.
About which
Trustee
one
We
Makula,
are we
didn't vote on
talking-
April 20th. Are you going on to the next one already?
I'm on September 21st.
We did vote on April 20th.
I didn't
Yes,
vote. We
yes, you
talked.
did.
Because I would have said no.
You did say no.
Oh, okay. I'm so, with all the other stuff going on, I didn't even realize it. Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, Trustee Makula, do you have any comments?
Yes, her vote was quite vocal. No comment on the 21st. I accept it as it is.
Where's it?
Thank you, Trustee Schoenfeld.
On August 1st.
Trustee Rozansky.
No comment.
Trustee Olson.
Are we talking about August 1st or September 21st?
We're on September
We
21st.
passed right over August 1st,
Yeah.
honey.
We're on August 1st.
We're on August. Ay,
Okay, well, the motion was for September,
She said September 21st.
oh,
Well, back up then.
Yeah,
sorry, that was my error. I'll restate it. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the August 1st, 2022 special board meeting?
So moved.
Okay. Trustee Makula, any comments?
No comment. It's very brief.
Trustee Schoenfeld? No comment. Trustee Rozansky?
I don't see the necessity to put, when we have only like 6 sentences in the whole thing, to write twice that the absences of were previously noted or noted for Rozansky, Olson, and Keene. Once should be sufficient.
So these are based on the discussion from last month and changes that were asked for.
Okay, fine, then leave it.
The part in yellow, this is yellow, right? The part in yellow
Let me verify, I see that in
are
yellow.
the changes. Because last month it did have it at the top, that wasn't sufficient, so we added it under roll call, which was the request.
Oh, was it?
Yes, and that was what was stated on the video during roll call.
Okay.
And then the comment about public comments was requested.
I'm trying to find those. Oh, here we go. Okay, thank you.
Trustee Olson?
No comment.
Trustee Keene?
Yes, and please don't rush me. I think it's good, thank you. I think they're nice and short. If you could just be more consistent, like I'm looking at August 1st, and it says, the president made a statement, and that's fine, but then on the next meetings for September 21st, it has President Derblick. I think it would be better if we use the name every time. You know what I mean? Instead of just saying president, it should always say President Derblick. I'm not asking you to change it this time.
Because
here.
normally
So-
you have
President
it there, President Derblick, you put her name on there.
You know what I mean?
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah.
So there, yeah.
I don't need you to be changed now,
No.
but just
Well, we
going
can be
forward.
consistent. That's
Going
fine.
forward.
add that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Margaret, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Derblick?
Yes.
Trustee Schoenfeld? Yes. Trustee Makula?
Yes.
Trustee Rozansky?
Pass.
Trustee Olson?
Yes.
Trustee Keene?
Yes.
And Trustee Rozansky?
Yes.
6 yeses, passes.
Thank you.
Now are we going back to the one?
5C, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the September 21st, 2022 regular board meeting?
So moved.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Trustee Makula, do you have any comments?
No comment.
Trustee Schoenfeld? Trustee Rozansky?
No comment.
Trustee Olson?
Okay, on page 8, again, your president's report is in entirety. I don't understand the need for it to be stated verbatim.
Thank you. Trustee Keene?
I think your report is inappropriate and shouldn't be included.
Thank you.
Verbatim.
At all.
At all.
Shouldn't?
Should not.
Okay, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, sorry.
Margaret, please call the roll.
Trustee Derblick?
Yes.
Trustee Schoenfeld? Yes. Trustee Makula?
Yes.
Trustee Rozansky?
No.
Trustee Olson?
No.
Trustee King?
No.
3-3 fails.
Thank you. Five D, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the September 26, 2022 public hearing on the ordinance 22-02, the 2022-2023 budget?
So moved.
Okay, we have a moving in a second. Trustee Makula, any comments?
We're doing the public hearing one, right?
This is the public hearing meeting.
Thank you.
Yes.
Before the
That's all I
regular
wanted
meeting.
to verify. Thank
Right.
you very much.
No comment. It's very short.
Trustee Schoenfeld. Trustee Rozansky.
Yes, I would like to know, I'm asking you, Carolyn, why it is the 2 years you've been the executive officer, you feel it's necessary to have an attorney when it's only public comments. There was no reason why we should be paying somebody for 5 hours, because we had 3 hours of meeting and we pay them public transportation, which is an hour both ways. Can you please let me know how much we pay him at this time? Cindy?
I don't have that off the top of my head.
Okay, fine.
I can let you know.
I know it's at over $2.50 an hour. I don't see the necessity to have him here for public hearing. Thank you.
Do you expect any?
Thank you.
Were you not asking the president or not?
Well, it doesn't matter. I made a statement.
Exactly.
It should be included in the minutes.
It should be included in the minutes.
Trustee Olson.
No comment. I agree with Ms. Rozansky.
Thank you. Trustee Keene.
No comment.
Thank you. Margaret, please call the roll.
Trustee Derblick?
Yes.
Trustee Schoenfeld? Yes. Trustee Makula?
Yes.
Trustee Rozansky?
Pass.
Trustee Olson?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Trustee Rozansky?
Yes.
Thank you. 6-0 passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
5E, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the September 26th, 2022 special board meeting?
This is the regular, the special board meeting to
Yes,
approve the
please.
budget. Yes, so moved.
Thank you. Trustee Makula, any comments?
Yes. Nowhere on these minutes does it have listed the actual amount of the budget that we passed, so I can't accept these.
It says it right here.
Okay, what particularly, Trustee Makula, are you referring to?
The ordinance was for 6 million
Ordinance and resolutions.
resolution. Yeah.
I see, okay, correct. It does not indicate the amount.
6,646,129. What's listed here is the $7,481,55. $7,481,055.
Right, well, that motion failed, and then underneath it, it says vote on the original motion as stated on the agenda, which
Yeah,
did
but
not have the amount, and that
needs-
passed.
It needs to
It
go.
was read with the amount.
It needs to go on, in the actual meeting, I watched it like 3 times. I mentioned it several times how much it was, and it isn't recorded here.
We'll go back and review the video.
Thank you. Trustee Schoenfeld. No comment. Trustee Rozansky.
No comment. She's going to review the video.
Well, we still have to
Trustee
vote on it.
Olson.
No comment.
Trustee Keene.
No comment.
Thank you.
Are we still voting?
We should probably take a roll call.
on what is currently presented, correct?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Okay.
Trustee Derblick?
No.
Trustee Schoenfeld?
No.
Trustee Makula?
No.
Trustee Rozansky?
Yes.
Trustee Olson?
Yes.
Trustee Keane?
Yes.
3 to 3 fails.
Thank you. Item 6 is the payment of bills. Due to the cancellation of One Shakespeare Project of Chicago in the amount of $805, we have an adjustment in the amount for payment of bills. With the adjustment, it reads as, do I have a motion to approve operating expenses of $190,643.99, payroll expenses of $216,912.56 for a total monthly expense of $407,556.55.
So moved.
That was a check for $850 for the Shakespeare project.
Oh, thank you, my error.
But you have the right totals with the 850, though.
Yes, the totals are correct.
Okay, I need to hear these figures again. It wasn't-
Absolutely, no problem. Due to the cancellation of One Shakespeare Project of Chicago in the amount of $850, we have an adjustment in the amount for the payment of bills. Approve operating expenses of $190,643.99. Payroll expenses of $216,912.56 for a total monthly expense of $407,556.55. So we have a movement and a
So
second.
moved.
Trustee Makula, any comments?
No, these numbers are correct with the, it was for the Shakespeare project. They canceled. They're not going to do it this year.
Trustee Schoenfeld. Trustee Rozansky.
No comment.
Trustee Olson.
No comment.
Trustee Keane.
I have questions. Because I just, at the beginning, when this meeting was about to start, was able to see the bill from Clark Hill, which is for Yvette Heinzelman, who also, by the way, has not responded to my email in over 10 days, so I don't know if we should be paying. Oh, I'm sorry, thank you, Rich. Yeah, I said I have a question about the bill from Yvette Heinzelman's lawyer firm, Clark Hill. First of all, she's not responding to my email, so I don't feel inclined to pay her at all. Second, I'm just looking at this bill since we got here at 6:30. I had not seen it before then. And the bill is for a total of $8,370.50. And of that, she has listed here professional services that are, let me make sure I get it right. Employment matters, union matters. So the bulk of the bill, $8,058 of this bill, is for union matters. So I would like to know why she is involved in union matters when we have a lawyer specifically for that, President Derblick.
The union attorney is hired through the, through Attorney Heinzelman's firm, Clark Hill. So that's why you see the bills coming through the way they do.
No, that's not right. Because we get
Yes, that
separate
is
bills
true.
from Lisa
That
Calloway.
is, you're missing the point. I answered your question.
No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
deflecting the question.
I'm not deflecting.
We have
We
had
hired,
in the past from the
excuse
other
me,
attorneys.
Trustee Rozansky. We hired an attorney prior to union negotiations to handle what we weren't sure was going to come up in the future.
And
Now
employment
that-
matters.
You know, I can't answer your question if you keep interrupting me.
Well, you're not going to answer it anyway.
I'm trying.
No, you're lying.
How dare you?
I do.
Okay, we're moving forward.
Excuse me, I had a couple of questions about bills. I forgot this is the time.
So
we're supposed to ask them.
$8,000 worth of negotiations with the second lawyer, just so everyone's in the clear. This is not the lawyer that we used for the union negotiations. This is a different lawyer.
So what is the question and the problem with the fact that you're being charged for the lawyer's fees? What is your problem?
Our problem as a library, and especially as trustees, is that we are using two separate lawyers for the same thing to the
No,
tune of
you're not.
$8,000 in
No,
one
you
month.
are not. You are totally mistaken, and you do not understand
Well, you know, it
the
would be
legal fees.
helpful if the lawyer herself would respond to my email, and then we could clarify it, but I feel she's
Trustee
maybe
Keene?
been instructed not to do so.
Trustee Keene, again, you fabricate the truth. If you look at the bills, you will note the charges are for union negotiations
I'm looking at it
from
right
one
now.
attorney. I don't understand your confusion.
There is
Maybe
no
after the
confusion.
meeting, you can have, maybe after the board meeting, because this isn't the appropriate time to address your confusion, you could have a meeting with Cindy, and she could help you understand the billing process.
This is the appropriate time because
No, it's not.
the only time that you allow me to speak. Sometimes you allow me to speak, but you don't communicate with me other than here, and the lawyer also does not communicate with me. So this is the only time to
Once again,
communicate.
Trustee Keene, this is not a protest meeting. This is a board meeting.
And
If
she's
you are
asking
concerned,
legitimate questions.
Trustee Rosansky, you're out of order.
Yeah, what else?
Trustee Keene, once again, please take this question up with the
Trustee Durblick,
director
stick
after
the
the board
question
meeting.
where the sun doesn't shine.
We're moving forward.
Excuse me, I said I didn't realize, I forgot that it used to be we asked these questions at a different time. I would like to ask a couple of questions about bill payment. Is it all right with you?
Actually, Trustee Keene, are you finished?
For now.
Trustee Rosansky.
Yeah, check number, excuse me, check number 81136.
What page?
On page 21.
16.
It's for Ascent Technology for 9,000, what was that exactly for, please? It's over 9,000?
Yeah, I don't have the bills here. Rich, can you answer that?
Software.
Sure, it's a trustee-approved expense from last month. It was for licensing.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
The other one was full spectrum laser. Is that also under you, Rich?
No, I can do
it's
that
for-
one.
Okay.
Excellent, thank you.
That one was
What number is
approved.
That is check number 81161. And it's for over $6,000.
So that was approved in a previous board meeting to replace the laser printer for digital services.
Okay, cool.
So it was ordered.
Okay.
The first one came in damaged, had to be returned, and the second one came in then. So a bit of a delay since the board meeting, but
Did we have a grant funds for that?
yes, we used per capita grant funds for that and got an educational discount as well.
Cool. Thank you. I'm done now.
Thank you. Margaret, please call the roll.
Trustee Durblick?
Yes.
Trustee Schoenfeld? Yes. Trustee Makula?
Yes.
Trustee Rosansky?
Yes.
Trustee Olson?
Yes.
Trustee Keene?
Yes.
6-0, passes.
Thank you. Item 7 on the agenda, trustee reports. A is President's report. As we review the library activity during the past month, noted in highlights, we noticed some in-library programs. One program that comes to mind is the Niles Township Assessor, Scott Bagnall, who presented a tax seminar and answered questions. This informative program was well received. I would like to suggest similar programs in the future that would include completing and submitting tax appeal forms for both Niles Township and Main Township taxpayers here at the library. In our efforts to increase patron attendance and borrowings in library programs are key, utilizing local professionals and experts to share their knowledge with library patrons would provide interesting and unique programs. This would also be an opportunity to promote cultural presentations by ethnic individuals or groups to share their culture, traditions, and history to audiences right here at the Niles Main Library. Thank you.
I'm going to hire somebody for that.
Who's next?
Next on the agenda.
No, who's next to talk? Excuse me, that's the trustee report?
That's a president's report.
Next on the agenda are trustees' reports. Trustee Makula.
I have no report.
Trustee Schoenfeld.
I'm looking forward to Not So Haunted Open House, which will be held on Sunday, October 30th. And thank you so much to Sasha and his team for making this event happen. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Coca-Cola, Hello Taiku, and Superdog. The children and families can enjoy a spectacular afternoon. I'd like to thank Donna Block for her services. And I'd like to thank her for her contributions.
After she's gone.
And I wish her the success and happiness on her new adventure. I'd like to thank Miss Rosie. And also I'd like to thank the Youth Teen Services Department. Has a unique job, as they always do, filling all these wonderful programs that we actually provide. And then also I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for the ACT test programming for the students, which we had 16 students attend this program. And then also, I have a lot of notes here, I apologize. Also, I'd like to thank Mary Kay for her property and taxes seminar, Judy McNulty for the money savings seminar, and also many attended the first Spanish language book discussion as well. And that's all the comments that I have.
Thank you. Trustee Rosansky?
Yes. I would like to say I was here October 1st for Harvest Harmony Concert, Folk and Civil War Tunes. It features a singer who played the guitar and a fiddler. Songs from history about railroads, slavery, Civil War, etc. It was so interesting hearing little known facts from history. At least 20 people were there. Also on October 1st, I went to Screen Print tote bags. We made stencils and screens printed onto tote bags. Very nice. Needle felting pumpkins. They all were different and they all turned out beautiful. Knitwicks, the number of people that attend keep growing. The morning session we had, which is the first Monday of the month, we had so many people, both online and in person, but especially in person, that we almost spilled out of the room. As well as, we also had new people come for our evening sessions. Since we're going into winter, I don't think we're going to have as many for the evening sessions, except maybe on Zoom. I'm saying in person, but it was very, very enjoyable. And I also wanted to thank a librarian, great librarian, for some great books that were suggested. I took them out, read them, and totally enjoyed them. Please don't hesitate to ask librarians for their suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Olson?
Yes, I'd like to say thanks to Mary Kay and Cecilia. Last night they hosted a wonderful interview with an author, Kate White, which I had the pleasure of attending. Kate White is a best-selling author of very mysterious thrillers, novels with secrets and twists and turns, and especially this time of the year, they were kind of fun to read. Please keep up this kind of programming. It was well attended as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Keene.
I enjoyed the felting with Patty. I have a couple of fun programs that I went to last month, and kits that were taken home that Stacy provided on genealogy. Those were nice. Something I really enjoyed last week, though, was being here in person for Battle of the Books. Last year, we had to view the kids from outside the room on a link from Zoom, and this year we were able to be in the room with the kids. It would be even nicer if we were able to be with the kids in this room tonight, because they're supposed to be in here, but we can't have them in here tonight because the board is in here, and that's a shame. They're spread out an extra week now because we're in here instead of upstairs where we belong. I did notice, looking through the highlights and the reports, that the passports were up 187% from this time last year. That's incredible. And that we had to, again, for another month in a row, block out 19 appointments because we didn't have staff here to cover those slots. Another thing I noticed in reading the highlights for youth and teens, it says, and I quote, "The return to the classroom is normally is the key word here, a time of numerous open house visits." But, and that's the end quote. It's not normal this year because we don't have outreach staff to do all those visits. So we are missing the boat on serving our children. I was able to spend a lot of time, 2 days so far, at the Illinois Library Association Conference. I have this pass, this badge to go with me. This yellow or orange ribbon on the bottom says that I'm a trustee. And something very interesting was happening when I was meeting people. They'd say, see my trustee ribbon and say, "Oh, what library are you from?" And I'd say, "Niles, Maine." And they unfailingly would look at me and say, "I'm sorry." Their face would fall and they would say, "I'm sorry." I'm not making this up. It was every person that I said it to. It was like I was at a funeral and someone was condoling me. It was embarrassing and sad. And then they would follow up with, "How's it going?" So I'm hoping that the left side of this board is listening to what I'm saying, because that's the response I got from professionals all over the state when they heard the name of this library. Not knowing who I was or anything else, just hearing that name of the library. On the positive side, I got to hear something that I think would be great for our library. The keynote speaker opened up the whole conference with a talk about wellness care for your staff. I can't think of a library staff in this state that needs to be cared for more than this staff. It would have done you all some good to have been there and listened to it. I don't know if you were even aware it was going on, but I know that you guys are not going, and that's a shame. Tomorrow is a day set aside especially for trustees. Some of us are going, and I'm looking forward to hearing what we can learn. There are presentations on the levy tomorrow, on FOIAs actually being done by Kleinthorpe and Jenkins, which is very interesting. I will not miss that. What else did I want to mention from the conference today? I was able to spend a lot of time with Rosie and Donna today. Interestingly enough, that Suzanne should mention them because they were both there, and they are both not with us anymore. And that is another shame. So it's really ironic that those names were brought up tonight, especially because the programming that was mentioned, like the Spanish book club and the bilingual story time, will no longer be able to happen because we can't keep our staff here. And I think they probably would have flinched at hearing their names mentioned by some people tonight. They also talked about advocacy. I got to go to a session on advocacy yesterday and how library trustees should be at the forefront of that. And I was able to get a trustee advocacy toolkit, which I have. If anyone's interested, I'd be very happy to share it and show you where it is accessible online at all times. I am proud to have been acting as an advocate for my library the last 2 days, and I will do again tomorrow. It was really a great experience and a sad experience. Also, good idea, though, to mention Bernadetta did a wonderful job today as an exhibit presenter. She presented on the yarn bomb and the craft swap that we did, and she hauled the people in like nobody's business. She's really great at what she did, and it was fun to be next to her because I was presenting next to her. So I guess that is it. I will mention other things about the conference maybe later during other. Thank you.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the Secretary's Report. Trustee Schoenfeld.
Ordinance 22-03.
Microphone, please.
Turn your mic on.
Ordinance 22-03, ordinance providing for the budget and appropriations of the Niles Main District Library, Cook County, Illinois, for the financial year beginning July 1st, 2022, and ending June 30th, 2023, was filed with the Cook County Clerk along with the estimate of revenue. Ordinance-2203 was published on October 5th, 2022.
Okay, thank you. Item D is the Treasurer's Report. Trustee Makula.
Yes. September is the third month of the budget year. We received $110,760 in income. The property taxes for the second installment haven't been mailed out yet, and at this time, we would have had another roughly $3 million in income come in, but we're not going to get that until probably December. We have plenty of funds on hand, though, to carry through. At the close of the month, we had $12,314,200 in cash and investments. In the last 6 months, we have increased our investments and reduced our money market holdings with a significantly higher return due to higher interest rates. Salaries for August were $223,634, and employee fringe benefits were $53,182, for a total of $276,816 for the month of August, for the month of September, excuse me. We had purchases of $62,860 in library materials in September. We have purchased $174,017 in new library materials in the last 3 months. Operating expenses for September were $23,331, adjusted for the $850 Shakespeare performance. General and administrative expense was $28,631. Utility costs for September were $6,892. Building and equipment maintenance was $16,259. Total expenditures for the month of September were $431,278. Total expenditures for this budget year are $1,287,353.
Thank you. Are there any comments, Trustee Schoenfeld?
No comment.
Trustee Rosansky?
No comment.
Trustee Olson?
No comment.
Trustee Keene?
No.
Okay, Margaret, we're moving on to, Director's Report, never mind. Cindy, do you have any comments you'd like to share with us, or how would you like to handle this?
I would like to answer any questions that anyone has about the statistics. The library highlights has also been mentioned. I believe I let you all know that Judy McNulty was not going to retire, so that's good news. And we are working with Rosie to continue the Spanish language programs. So we're hoping that that will work out and that we won't lose that while she moves to another library. So
I have a question about that.
Thank you.
If we are able to make something work with Rosie, are we going to be, are we going to be giving her a higher rate then? Or we can't discuss that in open session, but I would like that to be discussed at some point then, because people who are going to
with you
put up with, well, with all of us,
well,
you know.
Well, plus, the library she's going to is quite a ways away.
it is.
And
It
just
is.
the commute from there to here will be over an hour.
Could you explain exactly what the plan is here? Because I'm not familiar with it.
Which plan?
Something to do with Rosie and
No, I'm
maintaining
not going to discuss
programs.
Rosie's employment in open session.
Okay, so we're discussing employment?
Yeah, well, that's what you're asking me about.
It's a
the
current
plan with
employee, though,
Rosie.
so we are not breaking the hiring freeze, to be clear. She's still an employee.
Right.
But if you want to continue the programming that was so highlighted tonight, then we have to work with her.
Okay, thank you.
So, but you just praised it.
And the adult one also.
Okay, if we're going to look into the statistics of the program, we can certainly do that as well. I just have another question, and then you all can ask your questions. So Cindy, what you're saying is we're discussing who will be handling that programming. Is that what this is, what is the point you're making here? So we don't lose, I guess you're concerned about losing Spanish programming? I'm trying to get the gist of this comment. I'm not asking for any personnel information.
Right, I am working. I am working with the staff to provide services and programming, yes.
Thank you.
So, but now I feel like because I brought it up, it's going to be cut, and I should have not made any noises about it at all, and that we're going to suffer the consequences because I thought to bring it up. So I apologize if that is what happens in the end. That was not my intention.
Right, well,
I also don't think that is the intent of the library.
It's not the intent of the library, no.
Moving on, are there any other comments?
I just wanted to say thank you to the staff, to you and the staff for the report, because I know the staff put a lot into this also for you. So thank you all.
yes, I appreciate them also spending the time gathering all these statistics so that we can have a record, and it's very helpful. Will help in strategic planning as well.
Trustee Schoenfeld?
I want to say a big thank you to the staff and also Sarah Moskovich for getting the actual computers together and providing 100 families for this computer event, and also to thank Todd as well and Bernadette for setting up this event.
Thank you. Trustee Olson, did you have any comments?
Yeah, well, let's not leave out Mary Kay, who procured a grant of $480 for the library from the state funds for the arts tour. So that's noteworthy.
Yes, I believe that's under communications, but thank you for bringing that up.
Okay. Well, I think we're all over the place today.
We're
Because
actually
talking
under,
about
we're actually
library
under the
highlights.
director's report. So Trustee Keene, did you have more to say?
I have a question, because I didn't know about the Shakespeare project being canceled. Can you tell us what that was about?
Yes. I have a statement here from them. So I get it right. Out of an abundance of caution for the safety of our audiences and our actors who must perform unmasked amid the continued presence of COVID-19 and its variants, the Shakespeare Project has with regret made the difficult decision not to proceed at the current time with our planned 22-23 theatrical reading season.
Thank you.
So it's very disappointing.
So Cindy, they canceled the entire season, not just the first performance?
No, the entire season, the four.
Thank you for that.
Four. So there will be a chunk of budget not, that we'll look for another way to spend, some other program to put in its place. I mean, it's very difficult to replace the Shakespeare project, but.
Okay, thank you for that. The next item on the agenda is number 9, communications.
Diana already mentioned the grant. I believe that's the only communication in here.
And then also, Cindy, will you be adding that as an item line to the consolidated income statement?
No, because it's for a specific program. So it is applied to a program that is costing, I think, $880. That grant money, we pay for the program, and then the grant money comes back to reimburse us for that. So
Oh, I see what you're saying.
it's for only a one-time for one program.
So where do we account for that income?
Other grants other.
So why can't we just break it down and why can't we show each individual grant that we receive? The 480 will come in and the 480 will go out. But then at the end of the year, we will be able to identify each grant.
Well, we can
Because-
always run a report on grants other, and they're all listed. Doesn't need to be on the income statement individually.
So
for every grant.
when you run a grant report, that's every month?
You run a general ledger report on that line item, on that account, and then it gives you the detail of everything that's been charged to that account.
But is that in the check register where it's by the name, not by the grant number? There's a difference.
But we don't have a grant number, we have a account.
For grants?
Well, we have several accounts for grants.
Yes, you
One is
do.
which grant is grant other. And if you run a report on that account, it will itemize what has been charged to that account.
Okay, so then what we'll need, because in the past, grant other contains numerous grants
Right.
that we do not see the movement on them. So you're saying you will have line items for other grants that aren't going to be spent in one lump sum like this one. So you will be adding line items under grants other, as we discussed, correct?
Yes, I've spoken with
Okay.
the accountants about that. They did not have time to get that done for this month, but
Surely.
you can see we're having a little bit of a challenge
this-
printing the account numbers.
But this particular grant, because it's going in and then going right out, you'll show that,
Under
when will we
grant
see
other.
that?
It'll be under grant other on the month that it comes in.
And why couldn't you show that on the consolidated income statement? It would just carry through the end of the year, and it would, all these grants would be noted in one place.
Well, it would only be on there on the 1 month. It isn't going to continue to be listed.
But
I
the
mean, it's
amount will be listed.
We can talk about it with the accountants.
Okay, sure, thank you. Okay, we are now on 10 other. Just a reminder, other is the time for trustees to make suggestions about items not on the agenda. Other is not for personal...
Point of order.
Other is not for personal comments, personal insults, or
Point
questions.
of order, because
which will
this
be
was
ruled
told to us
out of
before.
order. Thank you.
This was told us
Trustee
before. If we
Makula,
have
do you
anything
have any
to say that
comments?
isn't positive, this is when we say it. So, point of order, definitely.
Excuse me, Trustee Rosansky, there is never a time in a board meeting to make unpositive comments.
Except if it's the president, huh?
Trustee Makula, do you have any comments?
No, I don't on the other.
Trustee Schoenfeld?
No comment.
Trustee Rosansky?
Yes, of course, I have comments. Thank you very much. I would like to ask Cindy about who is working on our levy, and are they receiving their information from any other board members?
The accountants will be working on the levy.
And are they
And
getting?
he will, I just heard today, he will be here at the meeting in November.
Okay. I would also like No, that was number 4. I would like to ask which board members requested new cards this recently.
I think I sent an email to you about that.
Excuse me, these are not questions for a board meeting.
Fine.
If
Then
you would
forget
like
that
to, if you would
question.
like to
Forget
ask
the
such
question.
questions.
I'm passing
Trustee
on the
Rosansky,
question. Can I please go on with my others?
Excuse me, if I may address you, please contact the director outside of a board meeting for these questions. Thank you.
So, of course, our residents are kept in the dark again. Anyway, on to my next one. Oh, forget that one. I would like to firmly request that there is no more harassing of staff by fellow board members. Thank you.
Trustee Olson.
I'd like to know why I ask for the hiring freeze every month, and my question or demand or whatever you want to call it is always ignored. I don't get a response. We don't have it on the board agenda. Nobody, it's like I might as well be talking to space. It's never addressed. I don't understand. So I would like it on the agenda for next month. Ms. President, do you have an answer for that?
Thank you
Because
for your
I would-
comment.
Well, it's not only a comment, it's a question. Because how else do you get anything done around here?
We can certainly have a discussion after the board meeting if you would like.
No, I don't want to meet with you after the board meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, Cindy, if you would like to put it on the agenda, I would like you to put it on the agenda.
I can put it on the draft agenda.
Please do. And then if you have to have it approved by our president,
Which was mean it'll be taken off.
well, let's just see what happens.
Fine?
Maybe she'll change her mind.
And maybe pigs have wigs.
I would like it to follow a procedure, or or maybe be notified, we're ignoring you, Diane, whatever. No, Diane, no, you can't have what you want.
If you would like to email me, I'd be more than glad to respond.
And you get that same thing, thank you for your email, and no actual response.
Okay, Trustee Olson, any more comments?
No, that's all, thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Keene.
My first comment was actually the same thing, about beating the dead horse of the hiring freeze. So, I think we got lucky with Judy deciding to come back in January, but we've also lost Rosie and Donna. So it's not just about the quantity of people that we're losing, it's the quality of people that we're losing.
Definite quality.
We're losing leaders in our profession statewide, and we're not going to be able to replace the quality that we're losing. So I am formally also asking for the hiring freeze to be on the agenda next month. And I would even go so far as to say that there would be support from a lot of trustees, even if the president didn't want to put it on the agenda, you'd have a lot of support for leaving it on there. Just an idea. And as far as Diane emailing the president to discuss it and getting a response via an email, that's not going to happen. I have 3 emails here with me tonight that the president has not responded to over the last 2 weeks. I was wondering about those as well, if you'd like to respond now.
Of course, not in a public forum, but I will address them. When you send me an email and have a question, I'll respond. When you send me an email just blasting and being rude, there's really no response to send.
Well, there are 3 emails here with questions that you didn't respond to, so that's not true.
That's a matter of opinion.
It's not a matter of opinion, it's a matter of grammar. A question is a question.
And when I have sent you
Trustee
questions,
Rosansky,
you don't
Trustee Keene is
respond.
speaking.
Fine. Sorry, Becky.
So if anyone's interested, there are copies here because they can be considered public record since they haven't been responded to. They're just mine, and I'm not worried about sharing them.
Well, you can give them to her now.
She has them. So one of them was asking for a report. Actually, I'm going to save that for last.
Excuse me, we will not discuss.
I will discuss whatever I want to discuss.
No,
you don't get to control what I discuss.
Cannot
And
have
so
these
the next
questions in a
thing
board
on my
meeting.
list is the issue that I have with Yvette Heinzelman refusing to communicate with me, and still, billing us for things. I would like it to be on the agenda for next month, that we have an executive session to discuss employment matters regarding Clark Hill and Yvette Heinzelman.
Second it.
Trustee
I have
Keene,
another question.
Trustee Rosansky,
I
please
said
stop
when she's done.
interrupting.
Fine. Go ahead.
Trustee Keene.
Stop interrupting, I'm not done.
Trustee Keene, regarding your
Regarding
issues
the haunted
with...
house, the
regarding-
not-so-haunted house, I was glad to hear that mentioned by the secretary, and I hope to see you there volunteering like I will be. I think the biggest issue that needs to be discussed tonight is the visit that was paid to the library on a Saturday a couple of weeks ago by the president and the treasurer. And this is where one of the emails comes in. They were here on a Saturday and went into the youth services department to ask a lot of questions in a not so very nice way of staff. We were lucky enough to have 2 staff there that day. One was actually interrogated by the treasurer, and the other one was kind of ignored by the treasurer, although he was glaring strongly at her.
Those aren't the only ones they talked to.
They also went through all of the drawers in the department. They went through the washing machine to see what was in the washing machine. I don't know why. Tried to get into the staff offices. And so I did email the president and treasurer and asked, if they were collecting data, which is what they like to do, that I'm sure it would be compiled in a report for all of us to look at. And I didn't get a response to that email. And then the treasurer said he had no report during trustee reports. So I would really like to know what information you were looking for and what you found.
I was there, and
there's
we-
no need to respond to these questions in a public forum. You can speak with her another
she's
time.
wrong. She
I
wasn't
know.
there,
I
and
know.
she's saying we
I
were
was.
insulting.
You wanna hear my
Everybody was
opinion?
respectful,
Trustee Makula.
except
this-
for Trustee Rosansky, who came screaming.
Yes, I did, because I've
never heard anything that loud in the library.
Several of our employees with looks on their face like total shock because they
there?
have been harassed. Yes, I was
nobody
there.
was harassed.
I was there when you were
Nobody
talking to
was
other
harassed.
people. I was there when you were
We asked
pacing
some civil
back and
questions.
forth across the teen center.
I asked about the STEM room.
I wasn't bringing it up until you are. So, you know what? I came in because
Excuse me.
I come in at different times.
Once again,
And again, I had residents even coming and complaining
Trustee
about
Rosansky, you're out of order. Once again, this board meeting is out of control. Trustee Keene, you do not know how to ask questions at the proper time. You consistently cause inciting riots and all this chaos. We're done.
I
We are
wouldn't have
done.
said anything
We're
if
done.
Joe didn't bring it up.
We're done. The next item on the
I'm not
agenda
done.
is the
I'm not
adjournment.
done.
I'm not done.
Please continue. And no comments from anyone in the audience and no one on the
Excuse
board.
me, she's your friend. You should be
Trustee
using your
Keene,
gavel.
Trustee Keene,
Use your
please.
gavel. Use your gavel.
Quiet. Patty, enough. Trustee Keene, please
As
finish.
usual, when it's her friend, she doesn't use the gavel.
Enough. Trustee Keene, please finish this comment section of yours.
Thank you. I will just negate that what was said because I spoke with the staff who were there and that's what they said. So it is true. Again, no response to my emails. The same questions that I'm raising now, I raised in an email. This could have been avoided, but that was not what you chose to do. So if you don't want me to have these discussions in open session, then respond to the emails. It's not okay to not do that. So you guys, you continue to cross the line of what is decent, what is kind, what is acceptable, what is professional. You guys, it's not okay to intimidate staff, to diminish them you can't do that as an employer, much less as a trustee. You're supposed to be setting an
Trustee
example.
Keene, enough with your false
I'm not
accusations.
done. It's not
You are done.
False. Are you
listen,
talking to me too?
No, we see you. We see.
You
we
are
see
done. You
the
are
three of
done. You are done.
We see what you're
repeating
doing.
these lies.
We see
You're
what you are
done.
for, and it's not okay. And the community will continue to work together, and we will continue to communicate. Staff and trustees and patrons communicate to work against you, and it's not going to stop.
Trustee Keene, I'm sure you will continue to work against this board and this library as you
Only
have
It's not the board
since
and it's
day
not the
one.
library, it's you.
But I will admit, this is not the place for this. Please continue or end so we can stop this
So would
chaos.
you like to respond to the emails next time so we don't have to have this conversation here?
Trustee Keene, if you really wanted to have a conversation with me, you would contact me.
I will never call
If
you
I
on the
don't-
phone.
If I don't respond to your email, there must be a reason, but there's no need for this outburst on your part. But please continue or end your comments.
My comment is, if you would like to avoid this, email me back.
Are you finished? Yep. Thank you. Item 11 on the agenda is adjournment.
Motion.
Do I have a motion to adjourn the regular board meeting of October 19th, 2022?
Motion.
Second.
Margaret, please call the roll.
Trustee Derblick?
Yes.
Trustee Schoenfeld?
Yes.
Trustee Makula?
Yes.
Trustee Rozansky?
Yes.
Trustee Olson?
Yes.
Trustee Keene?
Yes.
6-0 passes.
Thank you. Oh. The October 20th board meeting is adjourned at 7:56 PM.
October 19th.
Thank you, October 19th. Appreciate it. Let me write this down.
Margaret?